Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Orlando Shorty, and today we are reviewing the biggest release of the week, Ms. Marvel, The New Mutant. And in case you're wondering why this has been released, well, she died recently, but it turns out she was a mutant, so she gets to come back, but her mutant gene hasn't activated, so she doesn't really have much of a mutant power, so she's still an Inhuman and also possibly an Avenger and a Champion. It's basically been this whole thing. And it's been a big thing. I'm not joking about this one. Like, it's got a lot of vibe for it, and I really appreciate that it's putting this character front and center again, because the TV series was great, and I think there's been some fantastic writers on it. I like the idea of her new series getting launched with a whole bunch of fanfare. Unfortunately, when I opened the comic book, I was not impressed on the first few pages, because the artwork, unfortunately, to start with, is really not that impressive. It's fine. It does what Marvel does well, but it also has opportunities which it misses. It starts on a dream sequence, and in a dream sequence you can do crazy things, you can have fun with it. But they did a GameStop show pastiche, and they basically just ignored a lot of background stuff and just had a colour wash behind it. They had these big over-the-top ideas, but just looked kind of staid and boring. And I've got to say, I'm not a big fan of the dream sequence anyway, but at least it gives you the opportunity to do something big and exciting and irreverent, and you can just go to town on it. And the fact that they didn't made me think I was going to have to ice skate uphill to get to the point of this one. It could have just not been great. Thankfully, there's two artists working on this one, and I think after a while there was a certain point where it all came together. There is more attention paid to fine detail. There is really nice action sequences. The writing marries with the artwork really effectively in terms of non-verbal communication later on. In the beginning, there's moments where it is like the worst kind of, oh, I am shocked about something. And it's all like really over the top kind of stuff, but it's over the top in ways which just take away from its subtlety. Later on, they learn that subtlety, and it absolutely comes together. It looks fantastic. It ends up being a really good looking Marvel comic book, and I really enjoyed it. But probably the biggest thing people are going to be talking about is the writing, because it is written by, and I have to check the name here because I want to be 100% sure, Iman Vellani. I believe I'm pronouncing that vaguely correctly, but I'm almost certainly wrong. And she basically played Ms. Marvel. And she has the kind of lived experience of this kind of character which most writers would currently dream about. She's a young woman of Asian descent, growing up in America, and it feels like it's a really good opportunity to look at what the original idea of the X-Men were, which is kind of an analogy for racism. Now, it's not a great one, it's kind of specious sometimes. It basically feels like they don't quite get the point of you should not be scared of people with a cause because they cannot read your mind and make you do things, whereas mutants actually can do that. And yes, there's always the idea that not all mutants are super powerful, we should take them on their own basis, but yes, there are still some that can kill you with fire. But this goes a slightly different way, because if you've not been reading the whole Fall of X thing from the Hellfire Gala, we have an organisation called Orchis who has basically said all mutants must leave, and if any stick around, we're going to kill people as a result of it. And this feels like it's playing big on the idea that to make people scared of minorities, you basically say that they are very, very dangerous, and you use the fact that they're dangerous to basically curtail their rights, as in stop them being around or stop them existing, stop them being themselves. And when they fight back, terrible things happen, and you say, haha, see, we told you they were dangerous, we were right to treat them this way. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy of horrible racism and transphobia and all these kind of terrible, terrible things. And I think it's handled quite well with this Orchis situation, and I get the impression from the way it's written that it's where they might be going with this idea, because there's an awful lot of low-key kind of ideas that mutants are dangerous, and people already buying into this idea of it, even in the face of literally decades worth of writing on the subject and experience in the shared universe of the Marvel Universe, that yes, there are dangerous mutants, but they're not that overarching threat to humanity that everyone seems to think they are. But people still fall for it. People still believe if they're told it over and over again, and spurious evidence is given to back it up. And in this case, we have Orchis doing that very thing, and we have Kamala Khan, a young woman of Indian descent, basically trying to get through the day, knowing that people are going to hate her just because of who she is. And the fact I have a bit with Orchis actually saying that it's ideal that she's a mutant because it gives us so many opportunities to basically villainize even more with a recognizable person that everyone thought was good, and now they can say, no, she is evil too. This There's a lot of something going on here, and again, I cannot stress this enough. Just a fantastic, authentic voice for the character. I haven't been this impressed by the authenticity of a character's voice since Ziggler started doing Miles Morales, and I genuinely have just now realised I want that Miles Morales and this Ms. Marvel to come and hang out together. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic, and I'd love to read that. I hope those two get together and do something cool. It's a really solid start, genuinely enjoyable. If you can get past the first few pages of artwork, I mean, hell, it might not bother you, but honestly, I think it should. It feels like it's a lazy look at what you can do with fantastic characters and fantastic character design and a cool concept, and to have the better artwork being two people playing video games into the night. I mean, it feels like things could have gone differently. I'm glad it ended as strong as it did. Please do not be put off by the slightly subpar artwork. I think you're going to enjoy it come the end of it. I certainly did. That's it from me for now. I've got a couple of things I want to review this week, so keep an eye out. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.